परतून एकदा येवकार आम्ही पळयतात अंतरिक्ष अप अँड अवे आणि आज आमच्या ह्या एपिसोडान भितर डॉक्टर मनोज इब्रामपूरकर एसिस्टंट प्रोफेसर जिओलॉजी डेम्पे कॉलेज पणजी आयिल्ले आसात आणि भूकंप हो आयचो विशय आसा. ब्रेकार वचचे पयलीं हांवें विचारलेलें दोतोराक की प्रेडिक्शन जाता काय म्हणून.
No, unfortunately the answer is blindly no. You know, it's it cannot be.
It is nature and it will do what it wants.
It cannot be same. But today, by our knowledge of earthquakes, we have identified certain regions on the surface of the earth, which are basically the plate boundaries, what we call, which are the most prone areas for earthquake. So most of the earthquakes, if you see the map of the earthquakes plotted, then they are along a particular zone. They don't occur anywhere and everywhere.
Specific जागो
आसा थंयच earthquakes जाता. So we have classified entire world actually into those which are very prone to earthquakes, those which are less prone to earthquakes. So
which is the highest risk?
Wherever these plate boundaries are there, those are the most risky places. Whereas there are some regions which are tectonically stable regions. Normally there are no earthquakes there. For example, in India, the Himalayan region, entire Himalayan region is highly prone. Exactly.
It just happened there.
Exactly. So it is nothing new, surprising or new. It is expected that it will happen there. There's nothing new.
फक्त time तो केन्ना जातलो.
When it will happen, we cannot predict exactly when it will happen. You cannot predict.
Scientists say the main reason for the occurrence of earthquakes in Nepal is obvious, as the country is located in a famous seismic zone, the Mediterranean Himalayan seismic belt. And this seismic belt lies on the boundary of the Eurasian plate, the African plate, and the Indian plate. The massive earthquake also triggered an avalanche on Mount Everest that killed 18 people. Avalanches usually occur due to a sudden addition of weight, causing the snowpack to release and rapidly descend downslope.
की हांवें अशें वाचिल्लें की humans can cause earthquakes. Is it funny or is it true?
99% of the earthquakes are natural. 99% I would say. Because Earth is a big planet and what moves is something very huge. We just cannot move it very easily. But yes, there are what are called as human-induced earthquakes, or specifically reservoir-induced earthquakes, wherever there are large dams जे आसा आणि थंय जर एखादो fault जर आसत तर
डॅम जर फॉल्टार बांदला
without studying that region properly. For example, the Koyna Dam, which is built on a very active fault. अशा ठिकाणी केन्ना केन्ना ते faults जे dead असता ते परत reactivated जातात.
Because of the weight of the dam.
Because of the weight of the water reservoir. Yes. Sometimes even the water acts as a lubricant there. So there is a movement sometimes. So yes, sometimes or sometimes there is underground mining असता केन्ना केन्ना. Coal mining, for example, which is mostly underground.
It weakens the plate.
It weakens the rocks there and it can collapse. Mild activity can happen, but they are not major earthquakes. Rarely major.
Generally, Nidotor, India, as our country, areas.
The main region is Himalayas. The entire Himalayas is very risky or around close by regions to it. And second region is Gujarat. Actually, Gujarat amcho Bhuj 2-3 already already. And third small region is Koyna region actually, where there are large possibility of earthquakes. Rest of the regions are not so much prone, but when epicenter is nearby, we can also feel it. So we cannot say that there cannot be an earthquake in Goa or something like that.
Can you simply explain exactly what exactly happened in Nepal?
India जी आसा सकयल Indian plate म्हणटा आमी तेका, Indian plate is moving northwards. Northwards, below the China. Yes, northwards, upward like that. And it is actually moving below the Tibetan plateau.
Himalayच्या
Pona वयता actually. So, and this is an active what we call as convergent boundary. It's a very active. It's the movement is very fast, at least 5 centimeters per year. Okay. So there are what we call as faults, many faults like this. One of them is between the lesser Himalayas and the central Himalayas, which is called as main central fault. So this fault is has been very active in the recent past also, and again the movement has taken place along that fault. Okay. So it is expected. That is, it is not that certain thing has happened.
It could have happened.
It could have happened, and many earththquakes have taken place in past in the same region.
And
actually.
Unfortunately, like will not be wrong that it can happen again.
Yes, definitely it can.
Because व्हडलो जालो आणि खूप मागीर बारीक जाले.
हय बारीक जाले ते आफ्टर शॉक्स म्हणतात तेका ते असताच नॉर्मली आफ्टर मेजर अर्थक्वेक देर आर ऑलवेज सम स्मॉलर मूवमेंट्स आर देयर. सो
दोतोर आता वन थिंग दॅट स्केअर्स मी की आम्ही खूप लागी पावले गोंयाकडे आमच्या घराकडे आम्ही फुल आमचो संसार एव्हरीथिंग दॅट वी हॅव इज हियर. ओके एका सेकंडान 5 मिनिटान सगळ्यात ना जावन वतला. दिस इज द फियर ऑफ एन अर्थक्वेक. इतले ताचो ट्रॉमा आसता अर्थक्वेकाचो पूण आमकां तर लागीं जोन आसा. सो हाऊ सेफ इज गोवा तूं कितें म्हणटलो?
So far, Goa and epicenter also cannot जावना. That is one good thing that has happened so far in recent geological past. The nearest that we have is Koina. And Koina न्हू केन्ना above 5 are rare. I think in last 50 years hardly 7-8 जाला जे above 5
म्हज्या भुरगेपणान म्हाका लायक व्हेन आय वॉज व्हेरी स्मॉल इन स्कूल म्हाका म्हज्या भुरगेपणाची चड याद ना पूण अर्थक्वेकाची याद आसा. एकदा जाल्लो कोयना
तो म्हाका लातूर 1993 इन एक लातूरान जाल्लो. इट वॉज समवेअर दिस साइड.
इट वॉज इन लातूर.
लातूर एक असलो आणि कोयनानी जाल्या 2000 समवेअर 2000-2001 आणि जाल्या पण नॉट व्हेरी स्ट्रॉंग मायनस
सेकंड एक
येस डेफिनेटली जाल्ले.
आज सुद्धा म्हाका भंय आसा ताचो. व्हेरी स्कॅरी.
But fortunately we are not in a very active region. So our Goa has been classified as zone 3, which is moderate region. Zone 1 means very no probability actually. No probability. Zone 2 is low probability. Zone 3 is moderate probability. May happen. Zone 4 is more probability, high probability, and zone 5 is very risky region. Very high probability.
So entire country and entire world are अशे zones आसा.
Zones आसा exactly. So we are in zone 3 luckily, which is moderate but not low. So we cannot गाफील रावपाक शकना. We have to take certain precautions and we should know some basic things.
आता अर्थक्वेक जावपाक जायना हांव मागना पण समज अशी परिस्थिती आयली आमी कितें कितें करूंक शकतात? सगळ्यान मिनिमाइज द लॉस.
सगळ्यान फर्स्ट थिंग म्हटल्यार यू हॅव टू कम आउट ऑफ युअर wherever you are, if you are in a building,
from a
structure to an open area. Even away from the building. Not the building collapse zali, because most of the damage happens because of collapse of buildings. So you have to go away from that. Come to an open ground, wait and watch. Don't be in a hurry.
You can't do anything.
And when you are coming out from the building, very important, you should be cool and calm. Karan most of the accidents happen actually in the stampede where people just run away. विचार
टोटल कन्फ्युजन
जाता एक्झॅक्टली आणि बेस्ट स्टॅम्पीड जाता.
उजो पेट्टा तेन्ना जळून कमी मरतात स्टॅम्पीडीन चड मरतात.
एक्झॅक्टली सेम थिंग हॅपन्स इन दिस थिंग. सेकंड थिंग जर घरान जर उरलो भायर येवपाक चान्सच ना जाल्यार आमच्या घरान बिल्डिंगेन नॉर्मली बीम्स असता. दोज आर द स्ट्रॉंगेस्ट पार्ट, नॉट द फ्लोर ऑफ द स्ट्रक्चर.
म्हणजे वॉल वयली सीलिंग न्ही,
सीलिंग नो बीम असता जेन्ना ते मेल कॉलम्स वर्टिकल कॉलम्स आणि हॉरिझॉन्टल कॉलम्स असता. त्या हॉरिझॉन्टल कॉलम्स सगळे लगभग दे आर लायकली टू ब्रेक लेटर देन रेस्ट ऑफ द पार्ट. सो ऑर इफ यू कॅन गो टेक अ टेबल बिलो दॅट अँड गो बिलो अ टेबल लाईक दिस, you know, where is something
drop, cover and hold on म्हणला.
Exactly. So you have to go below something where something, if something falls on you, you have to be safe. That is very important. Exactly.
And one more thing I think we can go is engineering should be म्हणजे precaution पहिलीच घेवपाक जाय.
Exactly. That is what most of the countries which are very prone to
like Japan,
for example Japan, and they have developed very good technology,
earthquake prone
technology, buildings which can sustain actually severe earthquakes they can sustain. And lot of engineering research zala, and they have already so I think we should also
be prepared
for it. Try to when
because natural calamity सांगून येना.
Exactly. आमच्या काणकोणान तर एक नॉर्मल बिल्डिंग विदाउट अर्थक्वेक पडली बिल्डिंग. So we are not probably taking enough care while building our houses.
So डॉक्टर तुम्ही आज खूपशे अर्थक्वेका बद्दल इन्फॉर्मेशन दिलें आणि दॅट ऑल्सो वन थिंग तुम्ही आमकां सांगलें, दॅट इज वॉट आय एप्रिशिएट की वी आर नॉट ऑन फर्म ग्राउंड. आम्ही म्हणतात नाही तेरा फर्मा म्हणतात, वी आर स्टँडिंग ऑन फर्म ग्राउंड, अर्थ इज ओनली अ क्रस्ट विच इज मुव्हिंग अँड ट्रायंग टू स्टेबिलायज. सो ह्या सिनारिओचेर आमच्या गोंयांत सुद्दां नाका जावप, पूण जालें जाल्यार वॉट प्रिकॉशन्स हॅव टू बी टेकन हें सुद्दां आमी पळयलें. सो आज खुबशे एक डिझास्टर जो कोणाक नाका आसता पूण केन्नाय जावंक शकता, अर्थक्वेक्स हाचे बद्दल पळयलें. अर्थक्वेक्स हांच्या बद्दल समजप म्हणजे आमची पृथ्वी समजप. अर्थ इज अ लिव्हिंग प्लॅनेट. आमी समजतात ती एक फातराचो गुळो आसा, पीस ऑफ रॉक, अशें ना. इट इज अ लिव्हिंग प्लॅनेट आनी तातूंत सुद्दां स्टेबिलायज जावपाचे प्रयत्न चालू आसा. इट इज नॉट फुल्ली स्टेबिलायज्ड. सो आज तुमकां अर्थक्वेक्स ह्या एपिसोडाचेर कितें विचारपाचें आसा, कितें तुमकां शंका आसा, किंवा आमच्या प्रोग्रामा बद्दल सुद्दां कितें सांगपाचें आसा जाल्यार सकयल हांगा आमची ईमेल आयडी आसा, प्लीज मेल करात आनी आमचो एक भासाभास चालू उरूं न्ही. आज हांगाच काबार करता. फुडलो एपिसोड पळोवंक विसरूं नाकात. एक इंट्रस्टींग आसा फुडलो एपिसोड. तुमचे मोबायल फोन घेवन तुमी एस्ट्रोनॉमी करूं शकतले. कशें तें नेक्स्ट विकान पळोवया. पण पयलीं आज काबार करचे पयलीं दोतोरांचो निरोप घेवया. डॉक्टर मनोज इब्रामपूरकर, यू हॅव कम ऑल द वे थ्रू युअर शेड्यूल आनी आमकां खुबशे तुमी आमच्या पृथ्वी बद्दल, अर्थक्वेका बद्दल एज्युकेशन दिलें. तुमकां देव बरें करूं म्हणटा.
तुमचेय धन्यवाद.
थँक्यू सो मच. आणि फुडें जेन्ना आमचे अर्थ सायन्स हे एपिसोड्स आसतले, वी कॅनॉट डू विदाउट जिओलॉजी. आय विल रिइनवायट यू फॉर अनदर नायस इंटरॅक्टिव्ह सेशन विथ यू. ओके, सो हाजेच बरोबर आमचो आयज प्रोग्राम काबार करया. पळयत रावात अंतरिक्ष, अप अँड अवे, ओनली ऑन प्रुडंट.